he's sharing with Brendan Hartley and Mark Webber. And now, finally, Lotterer on the same lap as the Porsche, bidding for second place.
That's big. That is big. We're going to see here this race now develop. It would have taken, we thought, a lot longer than this, I think. The 35 comes past us. Mark Schlisky coming past on the pace in LMP2. Doing another 3:42, fantastically consistent from him. But he is slightly quicker than the Pierre Tiré car. A second quicker a lap. It's going to take a lot to catch him. A lap down. A lap and a half down, I think, in reality. And around here, that half lap is quite a lot. You know, three and a half minute lap is... you do need to measure in more than laps around this place.
Bernhardt to Lotterer, the difference in lap time last time around was 7 seconds, with Lotterer faster than the Porsche. So it's going to take a lot of 7 seconds, but eventually we've got a lot of time. We've got 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go. 25 minutes rather, 4 hours and 25 minutes.
Absolutely, and yeah, just would you have believed it, nearly 20 hours into this race to be in this position? The 92 car pays us another visit. That seems early.
Richard Leeds coming in. He's 2 minutes and 21 seconds ahead of Jordan Taylor in the Chevrolet Corvette. So that could change. Second in class, the GT Pro class. Porsche Team Mante, Olaf Mante running that.
And the 2 car coming in now as well, the chasing Andre Lotterer. He's going to come in, and that will just be fuel for him.
Yeah. And we'll just have to see how that pans out, because at the moment, Lotterer has, or that car has done 24 pit stops, and the Porsche has done 23, so the Porsche is more economical, but it's not actually gaining from that fact.
No, absolutely. We do need to try and understand that and see why he's not got the pace, because they had the pace in qualifying. Why is the race pace so far away? Is this the inexperience of, you know, not being here and this being the first time they've done this race, understanding how the circuit evolves, understanding how the night goes and the things you need to do to make this car quick for 24 hours and set it up for towards the end of the race, which is ultimately when that battle's going to happen.
Still fuel going in. Andre Lotterer rejoins. No new tyres for him. Just fuel. 1 minute and 57 seconds behind Timo Bernhardt. So that's gone up just a little bit with that pit stop, not surprisingly. And that is really the chase. The battle is over. Second place, unless they have a problem with the lead car, number 1. Tom Christensen on his way to 10th win, but you would never say that at 4 hours and 20 minutes to go.
No, absolutely. He won't be thinking about that right now. He'll be thinking about just every apex, every braking zone, and how the balance of that car is, what they can do to improve it as the race unfolds and the circuit continues to rubber in. A circuit, a living thing that just will continue to evolve. And as we heard earlier, the track temperature causing some understeer issues for Audi. But now that we're seeing the track temperature raise, as it's a glorious day here at Le Mans, the cars coming back to them, the balance coming back, that understeer going away, as we see fantastic slow-mos of the cars coming over the chicane here, Dunlop, the Ford chicane.
Track temperature is still only 18 degrees, the air temperature 16. It's 10:37 in the morning, so it's fairly early in the morning still. In fact, if we go to English time, that's 9:30, and so wouldn't expect it to be too early.
But we're seeing the sun doing the heating of the tarmac, because that's come up 2 degrees since I think we joined you. As we see Frankie Mayer really pushing on in the LMP2 Oreca. He wants Roman Brandella's neck, doesn't he? This LMP2 class, you would not have dreamt that we would have a class so competitive if you were here 5 years ago, and it was a case of if you finished, you got a podium in LMP2. It is just so close now.
And it's great that the teams are from Switzerland, they're from obviously England, they're from France as well, and some of these teams racing over in the States.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame we haven't seen more of these guys come from the States, but the O Racing squad had an outright win last time out in the Junior United Sports Car Series. So, you know, yeah, they are. They're all competing all over the world. And ELMS, ALMS, and they'll equally go and do the Asian Le Mans Series, which kicks off towards the end of the year and dovetails with the WEC visiting the Asian network. This year we're going to see LMP3 within that series, which is cars that used to be called the CN class cars. They're a car that's slightly smaller in footprint than the LMP2 cars, but there's a mandated standard engine there, which is the little Honda VTEC engine, 2 litre. Those cars are fantastic. I drove one of those not too long ago, and just the downforce that they've got. I'd never driven anything with downforce before, but phenomenal. It's around Snetterton going flat through Coram. You wouldn't think it could be done, but it feels like your neck's going to fall off. And they're going to be great to see in Asia, them running with the LMP1 and the LMP2 cars to bolster the grid, because, you know, that is a very cheap way to be racing against the likes of, well, Oak Racing and these guys. Certainly you're not going to be racing against the LMP1 cars, but you are going to be against all these top LMP2s, and that's something we're going to see introduced within the ACO scheme very soon. I know they're talking about that at length at the moment, looking at the standard componentry that could be used, and those will all be carbon fibre chassis. So that's the Tillier car getting a full service and doesn't look...
It's just lost a place overall, not surprisingly, to Nick Heidfeld. So it's now in 7th place, the Thierry car. Number 46 here, the Ligier.
I don't know what's going to happen there. That car, same lap now, I think, as Mark Shalisky. We'll see as it goes out the pits. I think, on balance, when you've got another rotation that contains Jan Mardenborough and Alex Brundle to go in the 35 car, you're going to see a last hour battle between those two. And in the 46 car, we have Ludovic Badet and Tristan Domedy. Tristan certainly capable of matching those two, but I'm not sure about Ludovic Badet. I don't know whether he's going to be capable of doing what's required there. That car's still in the pits, and they're cleaning the rad ducts out.
Yeah, it's having a bit of a service, isn't it? But no pads or anything like that.
OK, no, this is what we were talking about earlier. They've been told by the ACO that they must replace the number board. So they've done that.
Slightly longer stop then.
It's things like this that can really trip you over, and they can destroy a battle, but they are regulatory items that the ACO can't ignore. They're there for safety, they're there for a bit to allow them to police the regulations ultimately, and we've seen that a couple of times now, replacing the number board. I remember last year the ADR Delta squad, a similar sort of time of day, chasing down and being made to come in to do that, chasing down the class lead and being made to come in to do that, and ultimately that destroyed their race and is what put them third, ultimately excluded from the results. But you know, fantastic race for those guys, and pressing on now, the 35.
Tristan Gourmandi in the 46 car.
I think when this shakes out, they are all going to be on the same lap. Dolan just a lap back in the Jota Zytek.
Yeah, he's just moved up into 3rd place ahead of Paul Louchatin, who's been in the pits. René Rast is now in 4th place in class in the Orica number 24.
Yeah, I think the 24, though, it's fair to say, René being the stronger driver in that.
Timo Bernhardt lapping in the 3-minute 32-second bracket last time around. That's about 3 seconds off the leader's pace. That's Tom Christensen. And 3 minutes 36 for Nick Heidfeld last time around.
That 35 car definitely on the chase. And as I say, I'm not sure whether Mark's going to do another stint in that car or if they're going to pull him out and put Jan the Man in that car. He's had enough rest now from a regulations point of view to be able to get back in that car.
3 minutes 41 from René Rast. That's the fastest time. Simon Dolan, 3 minutes 48.
Simon, the amateur driver there, and just doing a sterling job of banging the times in. I don't think that's anything that he should be ashamed of, to be doing 3:48s round here, when you consider, yeah, he is the silver driver there.
André Lotterer, once again, the fastest driver in LMP1H. And he's now 2 minutes and 35 seconds behind the Porsche. So that's a gap we will monitor. With 4 hours and 16 minutes remaining. Got to retune the brain when you come to these endurance races. Everything is hours, minutes rather than minutes and seconds.
And hundreds and tenths, yeah, absolutely. The rate of attrition, actually, for this race, touch wood, has been very low. We've still got an awful lot of cars running. Over 40 cars, I think, still in this race.
I think it's 39, actually. But you're right.
Normally, by now, we're down to the, 20 cars limping round. And, yeah, you're right, 39, isn't it? It's good to see, that's for sure. So the 12 car, the Rebellion, which has been matching the Porsche nearly for pace, as we've seen. He's just trying to see the time. Heidfeld 32.3 versus Bernard 31.9. Heidfeld's certainly not going to catch them, but great to see that Rebellion produced by the Orica squad down at the Paul Ricard circuit to be doing what they're doing. It's matching that Porsche. Porsche must be scratching their heads. Lotterer catching them at 4 seconds a lap, and now only a lap back. Okay, Lena Gade there confirming same lap. It's just a matter of time now.
Just got to work away at it, hasn't he? Just chip, 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 chip.
But these are the fantastic chases that I think drivers really enjoy, where they can really make the difference. And it's always nicer to be the chaser than be the chased. Yeah. Get different confidence level, and see the SMP car, Mika Salo getting out of that car. Does look stiff, doesn't he?
He did say that he was getting a bit old for this.
Always ranting about something down in the pedal box. There was some waving of arms.
20th overall for that car. In the pits, now in the garage. 5 seconds picked up by André Lotterer. 2 minutes and 30 seconds between the third-placed Audi of Lotterer and the second-placed Porsche of Timo Bernhard.
Frankie Meyer again pressing on. 3:40.9, which is fairly quick. Quickest car in LMP2 at the moment. He's chasing down Roman Brandella in the Morgan. I guess they all figure that something's going to break on those two Ligiers. But those cars just looking bulletproof so far, touch wood.
Tristan Gormindi, I remember in Formula 3, I think in France, certainly a front runner there. So expected to be quite competitive in the lead Ligier at the moment, number 46. .33 comes in, that's David Cheng from in the third Ligier in 14th place, probably about 6th or 7th in class. And also coming in there is number 43. That's the Alpine Morgan, in fact, of Brandella. I think that's a couple of places ahead of the Cheng Ligier.
So we don't know what's happening there with the number 2. Sorry, not the number 2, the number 27 of Mikasalo. Not really in the hunt anyway, but I'm sure those guys want to get that car home for experience. They're there to develop a new car ultimately. It's certainly more than a rumour now that those guys are going to build their own LMP2 car, so anything they can learn here that they can apply to their own car, they need to do. So they'll be chipping away at getting back out.
So just going back to GP3, which chassis do they use? Do they use the same chassis with a common engine?
No, it's a new chassis, so it is a slightly smaller footprint. Those cars are going to be these little LMP3 cars. Different manufacturers out there. Ligier actually still manufacturing LMP3 car, the JS03, I think it's called. And there's other manufacturers in there, some really strong British manufacturers. Ewan Baldry and his Juno squad doing a fantastic job with their car. They dominated in the early years of the CN class, which is now what's becoming the LMP3 class. But lots of others out there, and the Wolf name coming back, Maurizio Bellarossa from Italy, bringing that car back, and that's one of the carbon chassis cars, because there is a mixture at the moment of carbon tubular and aluminium honeycomb cars. No, there's a fantastic range. The Wolf's really dominated over the last 2 years, and as it stands does comply with the regulations for LMP3 as it goes. But Norma, one of the names that we've seen here in LMP2 over recent years, that car, the LMP2 car, never really took off. But those guys, yeah, they've got one. Pegasus Racing, who we see here, the 29 car, that's where they normally race in the LMP3 class within the French V2V series. So, yeah, we're going to see those cars joining ACO Racing over the next 2 years, and it's going to be fantastic to see, because it really is a low-budget way of coming and doing this. They use a standard tyre, same tyre that the Formula 3 cars use. You know, just an absolutely brilliant way to come and get introduced to what is Le Mans prototype racing. But no, those cars, you know, a budget way of doing it. You know, you're talking about maybe 100,000 euros for a car, rather than €250,000 for a current LMP2. So the Aston, now we're about to see those two Astons running with the 458. I don't think this is a battle here, because it's all become quite strung out in GTE. Ricard Leitz still second, Tony Villander way up the road, 2 laps up the road. But the Astons running together. That being we can't see the numbers, but that being Jimmy Brunny chasing them down in the 51.
Yeah, it's Tony Villander now in the 51, the Finnish driver who's been in that team for a long time, very regular guy in AF Corsa.
So actually that's the 95 and the 97 Astons running together. Nicky Thiem a lap up on Darren Turner, so Nicky Thiem in the AM car ahead of the Pro car. Nicky now coming into the pits.
Yeah, in fact, Darren Turner was lapping a lot quicker than Nicky Thiem, but as you say, Nicky Thiem now into the pits. He's leading the class.
That actually was the 97 car in, so that was Darren Turner in.
Okay, yes, Darren Turner coming in, having just done a 3 minutes 53, which was his best.
Yeah, absolutely, chasing on. So he comes in on lap 273. So as expected, a 14-lap stint there.
All goes very quiet in the Aston Martin pit, 97.
That's an SD card, I think they changed there. I can't see what else it could possibly be that they change in the door. So again, that same ominous smoke. Let's see what happens. You'll see the refueling man. You'll see a shot there, pulled away. You'll see the fuel come up the vent hose, him fire up, and on he goes. But that was what we saw when they had the power steering pipe failure, and that lost them ultimately the class lead.
Power steering fluid actually makes a lot of smoke.
It does. It's nasty smell as well, a very nasty smell as it burns. So they would know instantly that that's what it is, if that's what that smoke is. I suspect that what we're seeing there is rubber build-up. Yeah, still can't get over the fact that that's the third time I've seen that failure on that car. So how many times does it have to break before a repair gets put in place that stops that happening again? And I'm sure John Gore will be asking big questions. Dan Sayers, chief engineer there. Dan is a fantastic talent. He is just, you know, he was thrown into this project at the start and given 6 months to do something that, you know, ultimately very difficult to do, whilst also trying to develop a GT3 car at the same time and a GT4 car. And he really stepped up. And, you know, Dan, fantastic engineer, not just race engineer.
Tom Christensen being called in from the lead.
Interesting they have an in-lap button. So that's obviously preparing some systems ready for the car to stop. So maybe some extra fans or something to cool the hybrid system and the engine down to ensure a clean restart. Car 43, 35 seconds.
De Morgan.
Whoops.
35 second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's currently lying in 6th place in class. Christian Klein, and number 29 also gets a penalty, a 32nd for speeding in the pit lane. So that's the Roussel Morgan in LMP2 some way back. So we're just coming up to 4 hours to go shortly. 20 hours completed. Ligier in LMP2 ahead of the Zytek from Jota in 3rd place. The Alpine in 4th place in class. 5th and 6th, 2 Oricas. And then 7th, that Morgan of Christian Klein.
There's something wrong with the pit limiter on that Klein car, because that's the 2nd or 3rd penalty those guys have had.
Right.
So there's something not right there. I don't think that the drivers are doing that on purpose. We saw that at the Silverstone WEC round with the KCMG car. I think it just kept getting biffed with on the pit limiter.
So the gap continues to come down between Timo Bernhardt in 2nd place and Andre Lotterer in 3rd. It's not something we can keep telling you about because it's 8 seconds here and there, 6, sometimes whatever. It was 2 minutes and 14 seconds last time around, just chipping away at it. But if the gap continues to come down, it's surely going to be an Audi 1-2. Having said that, well, this is Tom Christensen's crew ready to greet him in the number 1 car, out in the lead by a lap. And here he comes down the pit lane now with just over 4 hours to go. Tom Christensen, there's a huge number of Danish supporters here, let me tell you. Maybe a long way. There's Tom Christensen's brother apparently organises all the trips for the Danish fans, and there's campsites full of them.
There's tents that have got embroidered on them the Danish flag, isn't there?
Yeah. So TK breathing quite heavily actually in there, not surprisingly. It's quite an effort. He rejoins.
Just looking to see what else is going on today. Morand take their penalty.
2 minutes, 10 seconds, the gap between Bernhardt and Losserer, 2nd and 3rd. Buemi still 4th, not making any inroads. Gianni in 5th in the 2nd Porsche, not getting still a couple of laps behind the Toyota. And then Nick Heidfeld in a fairly lonely 6th place. He has been mixing it actually with the front runners in LMP2. But he's pretty much on his own, Nick Heidfeld. And then, of course, the two Ligiers, I think they may be on the same lap now. Tristan Gomendy and Mark Schultz-Hitzky. That's something I'll keep an eye on. And Simon Dolan in the Zytek, lapping a couple of seconds slower. In fact, Schultz-Hitzky is a couple of seconds slower, or if not more, 4 seconds slower than Gomendy on the last lap. And actually, Simon Dolan fractionally quicker than Schultz-Hitzky.
So the Rebellion in, rear deck off. That car been going very well considering its second race. Putting the rear clip back on. I'm surprised that they have to take both off to be able to do that, but clearly designed for disassembly and service.
New tyres going on to the Rebellion car.
Those guys starting to look tired now during that stop.
And this is the time potentially that mistakes can occur, and it's very important to govern that.
Absolutely, I think. Thierry Batidies car, I think. Our class-leading LMP2. Puncture, left front.
Yeah.
Oh, this throws it another roll of the dice. I think that's that car. We haven't had it identified yet, but yeah, it is. It's the Tibier
46,
car.
yeah. That's the class-leading LMP2 car.
So he's coming back quite quick. He needs to be careful not to do too much damage here, because to have to change a side pod as well as a front would be pretty destroying for the team in terms of probably losing 2 or 3 laps if they have to do that. If he can keep it as it is now, the smoke's gone away.
Not certain where he is, but
brand new set of tyres ready to go on. Yeah. And I think we'll be seeing Tristan Gomendy carry on in that car, because this is the coming towards the end of his first stint. Certainly wasn't at the end of his first stint yet, so that's a new set of tyres that would have gone on when he got in the car.
I think it's after Arnage, so he hasn't got too far to go. He's got the Porsche curves to go through.
So that's every chance that that's a debris puncture, not a tyre wear issue like we've been seeing on the left rear of the Porsches.
And Schultz-Hitzky is 4 minutes and 22 seconds behind Tristan Gomendy, so it does bring them onto the same lap.
Tristan doing a fantastic job of just managing how quickly he comes back, because he is doing very, very little damage to that car, but he is pushing on reasonably hard to get it back, and this is the sort of thing that's going to make a huge difference to the race result in the LMP2. This is the sort of thing we were talking about, and you know, Simon Dolan only a lap back, waiting, watching.
Now, I've sort of done some fairly rudimentary sums, and I'm reckoning that in 24 laps' time, so multiply 3, that's 72 minutes. That's an hour and 12 minutes, perhaps a little bit more, that Lotterer will have caught Timo Bernhard, or the third-placed Audi will have caught the second-place Porsche. We will have actually handed over to Julian Porter by then. Here comes the Thierry Ligier into the pits. It's made it.
And no damage there to the right front, I don't think. Sorry, the left front. I think he's got away with it. He's done a fantastic job of bringing that car back from the other side of the circuit where that puncture happened. Here we're going to see that tyre let go, I think.
Actually, it's 84 minutes. So that's an hour and 24 minutes.
Is it a tyre? The tyre's still inflated. It's suspension.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the way it's stopped there.
So that's... There's two things this could be. This could be a wishbone failure or a suspension mount failure in the tub. this car not having done a huge amount. I wouldn't like to speculate which it is. They're going to get it in, they're going to take it off, but those are the two things with the angle that wheel is sitting at that it could possibly be. I suspect, well, we're going to see as soon as they get this nose off, there is no point in speculating. So the Jota car now running behind the 35 car, those two cars running together, so first and third in class, sorry, second and third in class, soon to be first and third in class.
So less than 4 hours to go now, but the Gomendi Ligier in the pits, and that's a bit of a wake-up call also if there's a breakage there for this second-place Ligier, which is heading for the class.
This is where I'm so keen to see what's going on, because I hope we switch back to it and get a shot of what's actually happening rather than these cars that are just coming around to pass it, because quite frankly they're going to do that. We need to see what's going on in that garage to understand what that failure is. Please switch back. Dolan now doing a fantastic job in that number 38 Zytek, doing a fantastic job of saying goodbye to that Zytek. They're going to carry on with that car obviously for the rest of the season, but I think Simon will be one of the key backers in that new project, which is the LMP2 Zytek Coupe. Tim Holloway, being the race engineer for Zytek, is the guy who actually penned that Z11S. He and Ollie Cartledge, who Ollie's a very young, very bright engineer, and the two of them working together on the coupe with the experience they have from the Z11, they are going to do an absolutely stunning job of designing a new car for
Tim Holloway, who used to be holding the same job with the Jordan Formula One team.
Absolutely.
Many years ago.
Tim's just one of those guys. He's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet, and
Absolutely.
he will stop and he will talk to you, and I love spending time with Tim. Any chance I get to be in his company, I'm there. And we had a long chat yesterday about the youth of today, me included in that, and us up-and-coming engineers, and how my business has changed and moved forward in a very similar way to how young Ollie's move that business forward, as we see the one, Tom Christensen, stopped.
Lead car
resets.
is stopped on circuit. Lead car with 3 hours and 50 more minutes to go is stopped on circuit.
So the LMP2 class lead changes. Schlitsky has gone through, and the number one car going again. Did a Control-Alt-Delete reset. We're seeing a lot of these little electronic gremlins, aren't we, where they reset the car and away it goes again. And the way that car accelerated and seems to be going now. Okay. That's what we saw. So just an electronic problem, it seems, and literally just, it is like your old Windows XP crashed, right, need to just reboot it, and away it's gone, and he is pressing on at pace now, so it's what you get with new technology, I guess, and they'll be looking at it. It's probably software related, which is the strange thing about it. I think it'll be, you know, a software problem, reset, and away you go, but...
So in modern sports car racing, you need a little sort of area. Reboot here. Please park here while you reboot. A parking area somewhere.
Absolutely. And when we see Formula E at the end of the year, I think you're going to see an awful lot more of this. Because, you know, the things don't break, really. The wires don't break. The motors are pretty robust. And the batteries do what they say on the tin. So, yeah, software is now a large part of it as we're on board with the 20.
Now, it's interesting.
Second place car.
Yeah, the Andre Lotterer only a couple of seconds quicker, so that him catching Timo Bernhard is less of, well, it's still a possibility. He's still catching up by about 2 seconds a lap rather than the 5 it was before. So it's just under 2 minutes from Timo Bernhard in the second place car and Andre Lotterer in the third-placed Audi, the second-placed Porsche and the third-placed Audi. Tom Christensen on his way back. He lost about 40 seconds with that, no, 30 seconds with that reboot. So, but he's still a lap and ahead, but probably heading into the pits, I would have thought. Tom Christensen, will he have to come in? Doesn't have to.
I don't think so. I don't think he will. Yeah, there he goes by. I don't see any reason why that being an electronic problem rather than an electrical problem, he would have to. It will be a line of code that's fallen over, in effect, just like you would have with your good old Microsoft Windows. Those of you that own Apples don't have that problem, but we're just seeing... I'm desperate to understand what's going on in the LMP2 fight, because that looked to me like they had a corner ready to put on, and I don't know whether that was precaution from the Ligier guys with Tristan Gomendy in the Tivier car. I suspect that they've just pulled that through while they look at what the actual failure is, and I really want to know if that's a suspension mount from the tub, which of course we saw Peugeot fall down with not that long ago as the 20 car fuels, and this is fuel only.
And just as Porsche were suddenly looking slightly better with that problem for Tom Christensen, they come into the pits for a scheduled stop. Meanwhile, Mark Schulz-Hitzky has taken the LMP2 lead from Tristan Gomendy, who has now restarted after 6 minutes in the pits.
Yeah, wow, that was quick. That may even have been a bolt come out.
So it was Ligier to Ligier and Schulz-Hitzky in the G-Drive. Now in the lead.
17 seconds behind Simon Dolan. Simon won't be capable of catching Tristan Gomendy, but when you see Ollie Turvey and Harry Ticknell get in that car, they will. Harry under Alan McNish's wing, so you can tell the talent that there is there. Alan wouldn't be wasting his time with somebody he didn't believe is more than capable of doing it. He doesn't exactly need the money, so he must really believe in that boy, and so far showing exactly what he can do. He was the one that set the time in that car in qualifying, and we believe would have gone back out and got pole.
Lena Gade saying 5 seconds on average. Well, yes, it was, but it came down to about 2 seconds a couple of laps ago. And the margin 1:47. Okay, so it seems to have picked up again. 1:47 between Timo Bernhardt and Andre Lotterer. Timo Bernhardt in second place Porsche and Andre Lotterer in the third placed Audi.
Always interesting to hear how the engineers are really, coaching the drivers on all the time. And, we hear that in Formula One regularly now, but even at this level, I think Felipe Massa is famous with his Rob Smedley relationship for Felipe Baby being egged on. But these guys, true professionals, and still need that coaching and that mentoring while they're out on circuit from these race engineers.
I think it's very funny, in Formula One, you hear these frightfully English voices saying, something very, very basic and quietly and very calm and everything like that. And then one or two drivers come back and say, but why did you do so-and-so? Why did you do so-and-so? Do you want to have a discussion about it, an argument? Into the pits comes the leader. Timo Bernhardt being encouraged there.
So Christensen stops lap 3:17.
Yeah. And he's a couple of laps ahead of Timo Bernhardt, who is now just 54 seconds. That's suddenly plummeted, of course, after that pit stop. Bernhardt to Lotterer, 52 seconds.
Just having a look now to try and understand what that is, if anybody's reported on the failure that was fixed extremely quickly and efficiently by the Tivier crew. It didn't look, they would not have changed a corner that quickly. There's no way you could have changed a corner that quickly.
And yet they seem to have it.
they were ready to put that corner on. They lost 5 minutes in the pits. We should talk about the Nissan Ziod in a minute.
Now this is interesting. Look, Tom Christensen's just come back out. He's been overtaken by about 3 cars so far, including GT cars. Is it just taking a while for him to get up to speed? See, look, here comes the Chevrolet Corvette.
No, I think we're in reset systems again, aren't we? I would suggest he's lost hybrid power or something. Still the class leader there, the 35 Ligier. Built by the Onroque Automotive Organisation, Jacques Nicolet and his guys. Run by Oak Racing, another one of his businesses.
There's Mark Webber.
G-Drive sponsorship, as we see, that is Matt McMurray, I think, at the wheel. No, it's not, it's Chris Dyson. Must learn those 2 helmets. With a, is it a puncture in the Greaves Caterham Zytek? No, it's not a puncture. And that car, has he got drive?
He's just going very, very slowly, isn't he? 42, number 42.
I don't think you need your hand in the air, Chris. The guys have got that. He's doing a reset, look.
They've got it down as 43 slows.
It's not, it's the 42.
Yeah. 43 being the Christian Clean Morgan, and he seems to be getting going again. I tell you what, you will have to have parking areas for this.
He's done a reset of something and it's going better, but no, I think that is him now accelerating back up to speed, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's not a hybrid car, that's a car with a conventional IC. No.
Yeah, exactly. Would it need a reset?
It could do. At the end of the day, there are lines of code running these cars, and they can go wrong.
Bernhardt to Lotterer now 45 seconds. It came down by 9 seconds on that last lap.
So panic in the Audi pit is what we're hearing. That was unscheduled for Tom. And an unsafe release we're hearing. We didn't see that, but we're hearing unsafe release for Christensen. 42, yeah. He's back up. Just no, that's the sister car. No, it's the Jota car.
And he lost about 4 seconds, 5 seconds in the last, in the mid-sector alone, Tom Christensen. So that's just something we have to keep an eye on. So these first 3, very, very fluid. Lotterer catching Bernhardt. Bernhardt in second place, but problems for the leader, Tom Christensen ahead. Here he is, but still being overtaken by other cars.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely got a problem there. We don't know what that problem is yet. We'll see very shortly, I suspect.
Aston Martin comes past. Here he is in the Porsche curbs. Now, let's have a look. Look, he's got no energy there whatsoever, or very little.
So he's used it coming around the lap, because that's not actually a amount that's in the, well, they can't measure it, that's in the flywheel. That's how much has been used for the lap. So he has used 2 megajoules of energy to get this car around the lap. As you see him passing something there. It's 200 kilometers an hour, smack on, absolutely on 200 Ks.
Comes to life. Comes back into the pits again, Tom Christensen, with 3 hours and 43 minutes to go.
So I don't understand why that was set at 200 Ks, unless they have these safe modes built into the car as well, and 200 Ks is one of their safe modes.
But it was only just got up to that. It had only just got up to that. There he is, stationary. Fuel goes in, not very much, doesn't need very much.
Right behind the Jota car, but it's going back into the garage. Jota looks like a standard service, struggling a bit with the right rear wheel.
And also into the garage goes the number 1 Audi. It's got a lap advantage over the Bernhardt Porsche, which now just has 37 seconds
as
ahead.
Andre Lotterer sets the fastest time of the race.
Ahead of Lotterer, who, as you say, has just set the fastest lap of the race. 3 minutes 22.567.
We're going to see the qualifying time beaten at this rate. if we see a 3:21 during the race, that would be very, very special. But Mark Webber looks on, knowing that it's looking distinctly like they're about to take the lead of this race.
Which they could be then about to lose again.
To Lotterer, who is rather quicker, caught the 20 car than we'd suspected. A door off the left-hand side of that car, so that's so they can get to the hybrid unit. Degrassi ready to get in that car. Not sure that they'll be putting Degrassi in, because TK's only been in there for about an hour and... about an hour.
Mark Webber. Lotterer due in, therefore, which will take the pressure off the Porsche.
Very descript what is going to happen there, and Lena telling him even that he's going to have the windscreen cleaned. You know, I think sometimes you can give a driver too much information, and I think we just need to monitor what they're being told there.
Talk about tortoises and hares. It's absolutely fascinating, this, isn't it?
It is. I can't believe they clean the bleeding thing when it's in the garage to make sure it looks pretty for the end, assuming it gets back out and they find the problem. But just watching to see what's going on and not getting any feedback as to what the failure is, I'm going to stick another earpiece in and see if I can give you a bit more information. So excuse me if I go quiet for a second.
So Bernhard actually lapping 10 seconds slower than Lotterer last time around. And the gap now is 33 seconds between the two of them this time. But Lotterer about to come into the pit, so that will not be maintained. Buemi in 4th place, Gianni still in 5th, Heidfeld still 6th. And the Ligiers 1st and 2nd in the LMP2. They're separated by 3 minutes and 20 seconds, those two Ligiers. Szulhitsky ahead of Gomendi. And then further back, Villander in the lead of GT Pro, and then Richard Leitz in 2nd place in the Porsche, and Jordan Taylor in 3rd place in the Chevrolet.
Christensen with a turbo issue, we're seeing.
Turbo issue, we're getting reports from the pits, according to Giles there. And really playing around with the turbo, you've got to have very thick gloves indeed. Here comes number 2, that's Andre Lotterer into the pits. So 1st and 3rd Audis are both now in the pits. 2nd place Porsche now takes the lead. The Porsche in the lead, back in the lead with 3 hours and 39 minutes to go. Porsche leads. Number 20, Timo Bernhardt with Mark Webber and Brendan Hartley. We haven't seen Brendan for a while, have we?
We haven't. I think he's done something while we were asleep, but I'm hearing that they're expecting that to be a 20-minute stop for the Christensen car. So he's going to lose 5 laps.
Wow.
He's now in the same place that the number 2 car was about 6 hours ago.
I knew I shouldn't have talked about Tom getting his 10th win.
So the 14 comes in past us as well. The 14, is that going to catch? No. The 14's too far out of it to catch Christensen, I think. Seb Buemi in the number 8 car. He's not. He might just do it.
In the pits then are the 2 Audis. Also comes into the pits, as you say, Neil Gianni in the Porsche, the 5th place Porsche. Paul-Louis Chatin in the 4th placed LMP2 car also comes in the pits. Chris Dyson is also there as well in the Zytek. And there is the leader, Timo Bernhardt, in the Porsche. Audi, meanwhile, the Reinhold Jost mechanics working on the back end of Tom Christensen's Audi. We've still got quite a long way to go, but we saw that chase from Bernhardt to Lotterer. It's now 1 minute and 45 seconds after that pit stop. Lotterer has rejoined in the number 2 Audi. So it's number 20 Porsche with Timo Bernhard aboard. Second place, number 2 Audi with Andre Losserer driving, and number 3, in third place rather, number 1 Audi, which is in the pits. And then fourth, how many laps behind that? Quite a few laps, difficult to say exactly, is the number 8 Toyota being driven by Sebastian Buemi. And then a couple of laps behind them is Niels Janni in number 14, Porsche in 5th place. How is it all going to pan out? Absolutely fascinating stuff. You have to say, though, the Porsche is a bit the tortoise, isn't it? It's lucky to be there, but it's not. It doesn't have pace. We've said that before. It certainly doesn't have the pace of the Audis.
No, absolutely. I don't think it does. And ultimately lapping not that much faster than the LMP1L Rebellion, which will be they'll be happy with. But I don't know whether Porsche just playing the game of, look, we want to bring this car home. It would be embarrassing to be in a situation where we don't bring at least one of these 2 cars home.
Well, they're both still both running.
Yeah, absolutely. And without the lost time, you do wonder whether Janni would, that 14 car would be a lot further up there. That car lapping, if anything, a little quicker than the now race leading 20 car. Lothra outsetting amazing sector times again and just chasing it down. It's going to be a matter of 15 minutes at the rate they're pulling it back, I think. It's going to be on our watch. So we're still expecting this to be about another 12 minutes, I think, from what we're hearing, for the Christensen car to get this turbo changed. So they're going to fall a long way back down the order. It's another 4 laps, or they're going to lose. Another 3 laps they're going to lose. Okay, so there's a problem there somewhere. Sounded tyre related, but they sent him back out. We need to keep an eye on stint lengths here, because I'm not confident that they're confident of their own car right now. It seems there's some kind of imbalance or problem there. I haven't got a note of when Lothra left the pit lane. I do have the Christensen times noted down, but 14 car comes through to complete its outlap.
Bernhard to Lotterer now, 1 minute and 39 seconds between the leader and the second-placed Audi. Third-placed Audi still in the pits.
The first sector time for the Audi that we've just been hearing concerns from, pretty good. Quicker than the Porsche, so nothing of real concern in terms of pace.
And actually there's 5 laps between Christensen and Buemi, which suggests that if your timing is correct, Christensen will hang on to third place.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the time the correction or the modification or the repair has been made to the third-placed Audi number 1.
It's just amazing that the guys at Audi can actually quote times to change a part, much like if you went to your local dealer and, oh yes, it's an hour and 33 minutes to change a set of brake pads, sir. They can tell you exactly how long it's going to take.
But they've done it. They've done it. They will have done it back at the factory. They've done it at races already.
Absolutely.
They know exactly.
They do. They do. I'm sure they even get the cars hot to practice it.
Yeah, probably.
The 92 podium sitting second overall in GTE car is coming into the pits now. Richard Leitz owes that car to somebody, I think. Leitz left the pits on 272. Is now on 285. So that's interesting. They're wear on the front right, same problem that they had, which is the turbo. So they're going to charge on and see where they get to. Lotra and company having done an absolutely fantastic job of pulling that car back through. The bulk of the work there was done by Marcel Fassler, who sat in that car so frustrated, waiting for the car to be repaired.
The number 2 pit stop was 23 minutes and 18 seconds, so that's looking slightly longer than
what we'd been told. Yeah, absolutely. So if we're looking at a 23-minute stop, then yeah, I think it's going to be touch and go. He and Seb Buemi are going to be racing each other for that position, aren't they? Brendan Hartley ready to get into the race-leading Timo Bernard driven Porsche 919 hybrid. Mark Webber there. I don't think we're going to see Mark back out in this race. I think Mark is done.
Yeah. Brendan certainly hasn't done any laps for a little while yet, so it would suggest his turn next.
I think Brendan will be getting in that car to take it to the end. He could finish it from here, to be honest.
And happy to do so.
Oh, absolutely. I think he looked quite fresh there, which amazed me. I wondered whether he would be struggling with the pressure of it all, but looks to me like he's taking it in his stride and getting the job done. He knows he's here being paid to do a job, and his dream job.
Wants to get on and do it. The man from Palmerston in New Zealand.
Are we expecting Bernard to do? We are expecting Bernard to do one more stint.
He is 1 minute and 34 seconds, so he's cut it by 5 seconds recently.
Yeah, that's assuming that they're going to do triple stints, which I think is where they're at. I don't think they're quadrupling. I don't think there's any chance of the Porsche quadrupling. As we see, riding on board with him now, coming through the right-hander, first right-hander in the Porsche curves, through the double left here. Really tricky section of circuit, this. Fantastically quick area, and just ease drop. Brendan having a laugh with the mechanics, very relaxed. I don't think Porsche would have dreamt of being in this position with 3 hours, 29 minutes to go. Over the curbs in the Ford chicane.
Alex Brundle now, incidentally, in the class-leading LMP2 car, having taken over from Mark Schulz-Hitzky.
That gap just 1 minute 31.2 back to Tristan Gomadi. Tristan has got another stint in that car, assuming they don't swap it around from the fact that he lost some running, but I think that he's the quick one in that car, so they need to leave him in, knowing that we've got Martin Brundle and Jan Mardenborough to bring that car home.
Well, maybe
Not
Alex.
Martin, sorry, Alex. Maybe Martin fancied a crack at it, to be honest.
I bet he will. Quite a wind, actually. We've had quite a wind all weekend. I don't know how that's been affecting the cars, but we haven't really heard from drivers complaining of that, in spite of the size of these cars.
No, absolutely, and I think the drivers just get on with it. They're used to the variable conditions over such a long lap. Not like the F1 drivers that we hear talking about, you know, oh, in a braking zone there was a breeze and it lifted the back of the car and I went straight on because I braked too late.
Didn't take into account the breeze.
Yeah, absolutely. The 0.2 mile an hour change in the breeze.
Nick Heidfeld setting his fastest lap, 3 minutes 28 for Nick Heidfeld. Neil Gianni pretty much on the same pace, just ahead of him in fifth place rather. And 3 minutes 27 from Andre Lotterer, and still relatively slow from Timo Bernhardt, 3 minutes 31 from him. Be interesting to know if Porsche have got anything in their pockets, anything.
I think we'd have seen it by now.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't see why they would be sandbagging at this stage unless they are just driving the slowest race they can to get a podium, and that podium might happen to have turned out for a win. But then you'd have thought you'd be getting a kick and move it on, boys, now that they're actually in the lead.
16 minutes this pit stop, and the gap between Christensen in third place and Buemi in fourth is now 3 laps between the two. So they want to get that Audi out fairly soon, otherwise they're going to slip a lap down.
I just want to touch while we're waiting for that number 1 car to come back on the Nissan Ziod RC.